Baldur's Gate and romance. Name a more iconic duo. And as an inspiration from Valentine's Day, I thought, why not make a whole compilation in a single video where I would basically include all the cutscenes from some of my favorite romances, or at least the ones that I consider to have the most interesting development and story. However, do not be fooled, some of them might not be only sweet but also bittersweet. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the ride, and don't forget to like and subscribe the video, or let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see any specific story with any specific companion.
You drink in the pungent corpse. Since you awoke on the ship, your mind has been cold and empty, but something stirs. With your hands close to this body, you know nothing of why, but you find a half smile flittering across your face. With a shake of your head, you can hear your own blood throbbing in your ears. There is something unknown and unspeakable deep within your heart.
Open the bloody gate!
Nobody gets in! Zevlor's orders!
That pack of goblins will be on us any second!
What's going on?
Goblins are on our tail! Open the gate, Zevlor, now!
You let goblins here? By the nine hells! Open the gates! Cannon! No!
Shit! Form a line!
Damnable roach! Provoke the blade and suffer its sting.
Go on. Give me a best shot. Not bad. Again.
I can't do it. I'm not like you.
Umi, I don't need you to be like me. You just have to buy enough time to run. Come on. I believe in you. You can do this.
Well met. The Blade of Frontiers at your...
The man's smile bends downward, and his thoughts become yours. You are the Blade of Frontiers, racing through the wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, a diabolical figure, red skin, single curled horn, blazes with flame, bloodied great axe held high.
Hell's great fires.
You were on the ship. Doomed to shed our skin and become a lithid, or so the stories go. But we haven't sprouted any tentacles. Not yet, anyway. Could just be good luck. I'm not so...
Your minds collide once more. Wyll chases the fiend ignited with rancor. She is an infernal war devil. A threat to the living. Evil incarnate.
Shit! You saw her. Advocatus Diaboli.
Advocatus Diaboli. A devil's advocate. A champion in the blood war between diabolical forces and demons.
That ship sailed the Styx already. All I can hope for is to limit the damage. Her name is Karlach, an archdevil soldier I swore on my good eye to kill. I tracked her through the hells to the Mind Flayer ship, but the damned Illithids infected me before I could end her. She's out there now, preying on the innocent. I don't kill her, she'll leave behind nothing but a trail of corpses. I like your thinking. Besides, I watched you fight at the gate. I could use an ally like you. Ready when you are.
Please. I'm sorry.
This is madness, Korga. She's just a...
A what, Wrath? A thief? A poison? A threat? I will imprison the devil. And I will cast out every stranger.
A death viper. You have milked their poison before. A single drop of it could kill that child in a heartbeat.
Girl? You mean parasite? She eats our food, drinks our water, then steals our most holy idol in thanks. Wrath, lock her up. She remains here until the rite is complete. And keep still, devil. Tila is restless.
Come, Korga. We took back the idol. Surely...
Do it.
The snake's hiss of approval reveals its intentions. Should the child struggle, it is poised to strike. The death of a child. A timeless tragedy that never grows old. Her life matters more than satiating your dark fantasies. You focus, and they're gone. But clearly this child's life is in danger.
Very well. She may go. Break your word, and my serpent shall feed.
A tingle runs through your head and down to your feet.
Ah, there it is. That shiver. Our little brainworms have made fast friends, it would seem. How do you feel? It's natural to suffer a touch of worry, but an illithid worm should be causing more than mild anxiety. Before the illithid's unscheduled surgery, I'd felled hundreds of beasts and a fair few fiends. The tadpoles weakened me, suppressed greater talents, but beyond that, I've showed no signs of turning. No nausea, no pain, not even a hot flash. Indeed, perhaps the worm's vat was poisoned. Perhaps we're uncommonly fit. Or perhaps the tadpoles are merely on holiday. We could conjecture all night. I suppose the why doesn't matter so much as the what next. And that answer is plain as the horns on a war devil's head. We get these things out. Let's get some rest. Dawn comes sooner than we think. One horn. The stink of Avernus. Advocatus Diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you. Bloody right. An honor to be chased by the Blade of Frontiers, but
A great heat roars through you. Her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood. The Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
what was that?
Evidence. Proof that you're a devil. A gladiator in the archdevil Zariel's army.
I can explain, but it's a whole situation. If you just hear me out...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Her rage and desperation seep into you. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
She's trying to trick us. Don't believe her lies.
You saw the truth. I never wanted to serve Zariel. I was enlisted in her army against my will. Forced to fight, and fight I did. When I saw an opportunity to get away, I took it. Finally home. Or near it, anyway.
You served her. That's enough to damn you.
Wyll catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
You don't know what you're saying. You're asking me to trust a devil.
Listen to sense now. I don't want this to end badly for either of us. You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce.
I'm Karlach, but you already knew that. And you are... Well met, soldier. Nice to meet a friendly around here. It's been tough going so far. So, Wyll, now that we've made peace, how about we get to know each other properly? What's your story?
Not so much a story as a pantomime. And I've played my part all too poorly.
I would too. Go on, Wyll. We're listening. Who sicked you on me?
You're not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to your throat, Karlach.
You make it sound like a harvest of devils coming for you, Wyll.
You're closer than you know. One night soon when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll face my penance. You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me. The goblins still infest the roads. As long as their leaders live, Zevlor's people are trapped. My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. No, but he named me friend, and that meant the world. But what of the others? The children never saved, the cries never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. Baldur's Gate, born and raised, the only son of a single father. He wanted one life for me. I chose another. We haven't spoken since I left the city. A classic drama, a staunch father and his rebellious son. Better heard from the bard's lips than mine. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Tiny grooves spider across the eye's surface. It resembles a sending stone, used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
His breathing quickens, his jaw tenses. Wyll is keeping something from you. A strange sensation courses through you, and your companion's mind unfolds, secrets half revealed.
Gladly.
Hark! Hark! A camp, and Hogma willing. Some friendly faces. Well met. Goblins roughed me up and stole my hose when they heard me singing hatchling love. You wouldn't have half a bedroll for a lost minstrel, would you? I can pay for my board with music, if you care for it. I know. It's not the first time I've been robbed. I am only glad I didn't get hurt. I'll just stay one night. Promise. Then I'll be gone. I know I'm ice blood, but I get cold so fast. I need to be by the fire.
You open your eyes with a lurch, and you are not in your bed. You stand above a body which is in a state of gore nearly beyond recognition. The body of that scared girl who asked for nothing more than a night of shelter. Her blood covers you, and its warmth feels like the embrace of an old friend. You recall nothing of how you ended up here, but your head pounds and aches. There are dozens and dozens of wounds on the corpse. The killer did not stop savaging it, even when she was long gone. And your dominant arm aches. It aches from stabbing over and over. No matter how it appears, the body is there, and her blood is on your hands. The question flows through your mind. Who are you, really, that you could be guilty of such bitter business? The little worm seems silent. Your companions sleep blissfully tonight. If it were the rage of a tadpole, no others seem to be affected. You don't have much time for reflection now. You need to act. You may only have a few moments before the others awaken and begin to cast blame for the hot sin before you. A light and delicate girl. There should be no trouble at all to toss her into a ditch. You roll her away, further bloodying your hands as you do. In lumbering style, you have gotten away with murder.
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. Seems unusual to me. Then again, we're talking about tadpoles inserted into our brains by rubber-skinned tentacle monsters. There's nothing usual about it. All the more reason to stick close. I think you'll agree. Hellsfire. She's coming.
Wyll, you've been naughty, and you know what happens when you're naughty.
Gods damn it. Anyone but her.
Wyll, you absolute stinker! You kept me a secret? Time to let the Hellcat out of the bag. Call me Mizora. I'm Wyll's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Wyll. But Karlach's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Mizora. and at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlach, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless. Karlach meets the criteria, pet. Trust me on this.
Don't you worry. That ship has long sailed the Styx. But a defiant pup must still pay his price. To wit.
Wyll burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet. There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo. Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlach, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you.
Oh, and Wyll, don't forget.
Our pact still stands.
Ta-ta.
Gods damn her, straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mazora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Wyll was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
I'll say what I can, but it won't be enough. It's Mazora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast. A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to. She could kill me for one, and that's not the worst of it. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mazora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads. We can. I'm sure of it. How glad I am that you see me as more than my patron's pet.
Tonight, you can't chase the thoughts of that poor girl you killed from your head. You wonder what she looked like as she died. Squirming, skewered in abject agony. Your body barely complies. You feel such rushes from your thoughts of the dead woman. Why did she die? The mystery gnaws at your pounding heart.
Milady? Jubilant day! I have found your vile self at last! Sceleritas fell. Your loyal and ever-adoring butler. I followed you, my dear rotted master. We have been parted so tragically long. I was so worried for your health during our long separation. Now I've found you, silly me. My fears were unfounded. You have kept killing without me. That will keep you fighting fit and healthy. I found you following the stench of that bard. She reeked across the coast like a piece of dog muck on the road. Ah, yes, milady has always had some spontaneous little outbursts of joy. Anyways, I come once again bearing a part of your dreadful inheritance. You earned this iniquitous prize through your great show of exceptional violence the other night. I'm sure Master will be better soon. A fellow of your fine breeding is never down for long. I cannot wait until your next act of shameless barbarity. Oh, it was wonderfully disgusting, wasn't it? Be true to yourself, my lady.
The one little question that put me out of house and home. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word. It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck.
Oh, Wyll! Your horns are deadly! So much character.
Character, you say? Well, who couldn't use a bit more of that? Though I'll have to take your word for it. I've been avoiding my own reflection. Friend, be my mirror. What do you see? I can't tell if you're being silly or serious. I'll accept the flattery either way. I suppose I'll grow used to the new me. Horns and all. The people will see a curiosity. Maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters, keep them safe. And one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again. Hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone. Really? I'm honored. In truth, I don't feel in a festive mood, and I didn't want to cast a gray cloud over the night. I'm a devil. I love the people from the Grove, but I unsettle them deep down, as I seem to unsettle everyone nowadays. You don't want a devil at your party. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see, and the guests won't take kindly to scars quite so monstrous. If only half the world had half the heart you do. But, off with you. This is your day. Have a dance. Enjoy the music. You must have stumbled out here by complete accident. Too much honey wine can do that. You should watch yourself. Let me think. Why are you really here? You must be Volo in disguise, out here to harangue me for some tales of the frontiers. What a cruel disguise. My nerves started hammering the second I thought she was the one looking for me. It's a long shot, but maybe you've grown fond of me. Gods know I've grown fond of you. You have many talents, but subtlety isn't one of them. Well, it just so happens I'm fond of you too. Though,
I can't say I've earned the honor. I haven't even managed to kill one measly devil. I'm hardly a prime catch. You drive a hard bargain, but just the one. Well, then, you've got a party to get back to. After all, tonight is about you. There will be another time for us.
The buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. You've picked up a few pleasant memories on your journey amongst your struggles. Somewhere in the corner of your heart, you suspect he might be dreaming of you, too.
Since the party, I've had a spring in my step. And I've got you to thank. I'm sure we will. And when the time comes, I've got something in mind. Now, no prodding. You don't want to spoil the surprise. But I'll say this. It'll be worth the wait.
Keep pushing! Duke Ravengard could be inside. On count of 3. 1, 2.
Ravengard? He's here.
Yes! Now make yourself useful! Push, damn it! Push! Inside! Hurry! We don't have much time!
I'm afraid proper thanks must wait.
Councillor Floric, are you all right?
Wyll, by the main God, what's become of you?
A story best left for calmer days. Now breathe deeply. Are you in pain?
Scorched throat. A few hairs singed off. Nothing a bit of time and fresh air can't cure. Gauntlet, a new duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Alder Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Report to the Manor and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke.
On your command, Councillor.
No, it can't be. You mean they've taken my...
Yes, Wyll. The Drow have your father.
The circumstance of my birth is no matter of pride for neither me nor my father. But pride is no reason to refuse help to my own flesh and blood. How can we help?
Rescue Ravengard from his Drow captors. Baldur's Gate needs him now more than ever.
Trust us to see it through, Councillor.
Moonrise Towers, along the old road. That place is cursed. Few could survive there, unless darker forces are at work. This was no random attack. The Grand Duke was their target. The invisible force holding Baldur's Gate together. Without him, the city's collapse is certain. I fear that may have been the intention of those who abducted him. Thank you. When the Grand Duke returns to the city, he'll hail his only son, a hero. Approach the towers with care. The land itself has been swallowed in shadow. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Remember, Wyll, courage is found in the battle against fear, not in the defeat of it.
So Father said. I won't soon forget.
Fist to work.
Shit. You can put distance between you and yesterday, but you'll never leave it fully behind. Father's words. Hard to argue with them. Floric spoke true. I'm a Grand Duke's son.
Well, he's not just any Grand Duke. He's Alder Ravengard, the most influential Duke in the city.
I know. And you're right. My story is one of two men. The Blade of Frontiers. A man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And Wyll Ravengard. A memory of a memory. A man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the blade, not the shadow he left behind. I've been asking myself the same question. What makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the Drow? Even the houses of Men's Oberanzen would have little use for my father. No, this is no Drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast. Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist. Brave as Baldur, stubborn as a deep Rothay. Daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance. Hear, hear. Though, truth be told, I'd sooner down a week-old hooch at a ramshackle inn. Better company, and a better buzz.
You recognize the feathered creature. It's the owlbear cub you rescued. The cub's eyes lock onto the food in your hand.
When I see a creature as sweet as that, I hardly miss the gate at all. It'll be back. Be on your guard, or risk getting a peck.
Playtime's over, pet.
Ah, I love this time of year. The dickheads start popping up wherever you look.
What do you want, Mizora?
Drop the attitude and perk up your ears. You've got a new mission. Absolute's cult has gone and grabbed one of Zariel's assets. A devil, and a powerful one at that. They're locked up in the cult's fortress, Moonrise Towers, and you're getting him out. Ahem. Clause Z, Section 13. Should promised soul refuse obeyance or neglect duty, the pact holder shall cast the promised into Avernus as a lemure. I'll make it simple. Wyll fails or refuses, and he turns to a thick blob of stink flesh and sinks to Avernus. Now, be a good boy and play fetch, pup, or you'll spend an eternity sizzling in the hells.
Mizora's words may be flippant, but they are tinged with desperation. She cannot afford for Wyll to fail this mission. This may be your best chance to negotiate Wyll out of his pact.
Oh, and what condition is that?
Your mind links with Wyll's, drawn in by his increasing panic.
What are you doing?
Wyll relaxes, and your connection fades.
Interesting. Now, why should I go letting my favorite pet off his leash? Incredible. You actually think you hold the winning hand? Fine. I'll play your game. But I amend the pact once the mission's done, not before. Clause F, Section 9. Soulbinder shall bestow reward or favor only upon soul bearer's fulfillment of related obligation. Now, to Moonrise, pet. And do mind the shadows. They've been especially hungry.
The more bullshit she pours, the more of it I'm forced to swallow.
Mazora set me on fiends inside and outside the Hells. She's never ordered a rescue.
Gods. She makes a mockery of everything the blade stands for. Such an asshole.
The same thought crossed my mind. I'm only to hunt the infernal, the demonic, and the heartless. But nowhere was it stated that I can't help one. Either we find it, or I'm made a mindless blob clawing at demons on the front line of the blood war. And it means everything to me. I always knew what my future held, and I know I chose right. Thank you for sticking your neck out for me. I mean it. But I'm not going to celebrate till I'm actually free. I can feel Mazora scheming, plotting. She won't let me go without making a fuss. Trust me on that.
Thoughts are back on the twisted Scaleritas and his honeyed words of violence.
You called for me, milady? Oh, my nauseating lady. Such rudeness is unbecoming of your august station. I come here, for I wish to bring you another powerful tithe. But I cannot grant you this prize quite yet. You must do something divinely unspeakable first. You have been a prodigal young master, but you have not been disinherited yet. You can rule with such ease if you follow your call. You will receive a royal prize for killing this pretty girl. Isabel, the cleric with the sweetest face of the moon. She is too precious to live. Oh, Master, consider the tiny mishap with the bard you had the last time we met. Your unconscious clever mind hungers for extreme violence. Who knows who you might kill next if you do not satisfy your urge. Be true to yourself, my lady.
I didn't realize I had an audience. The true soul who's going to save us all. I'm Isabel. Pleased to meet you.
The urge deep within tingles. This is the one the butler commanded you to kill. You choke down the obscene thoughts racking your body with a shiver.
We've been waiting. Hoping against hope, for someone like you. Free from the Absolute's influence, yet able to walk among cultists. It's almost too good to be true. But I'd be a poor cleric indeed not to avail of a blessing when I see one.
The stomach churns around and around. The bile within is unsettled. Each moment brings a new surge. Your companions sleep like blissful lumps of meat.
He is an insult to the name of devils, posing as a monster with that sickly good heart. You could do so much better, milady. I won't lay so much as a talon on him. I wouldn't rob you of that delight. Your clever mind is penning tragedy as we speak. Your repressed urge yearns to kill. And kill you will. Tonight, the moment you close your eyes, your favorite person will be brutalized. We all kill what we love most. In time. He adores you so blindly. Like a pup. Don't you find it sickening? Why not whisper it while you twist a knife? Or have a love confession be the final words between you? It is my duty to ensure you are making the right decisions, Master. There was much disappointment at your reluctance to kill the little Moon Maiden. You could kill this one deliberately. I'm sure it will be considered a great show of goodwill. The tithe could still be yours. I do not doubt you will act with a decorum befitting one of your rank. Good night, sweet lady.
Your companion rests blissfully, without a fear in the world. As your hand approaches his body, it wavers. It longs to close around his throat.
I love feeling you close. But are you sure? Gods, what's the matter? You look like you've seen a gravehound's ghost. You've got my attention.
As you tell your story, fatigue fills your body. Your head swims with the worst headache you've known.
Madness. Or a curse, perhaps. There must be some cure, some potion for you to take. You should have told me sooner. We could have figured something out. Maybe we still can. There's yet to be a storm we couldn't weather.
Suddenly you become drowsy. Your vision blurs and floods with yellow bile, and you faint in a dizzy blur. You are not yourself. All control is gone.
Hey. Hey, stay with me! Rise up, meet its gaze. Show it no fear and grant it no mercy. That's it! Gather your might. Slaughter the fiend that stalks you.
The night passes sick and sweating, but bloodlessly. You once again inhabit your own mind.
How are you feeling? Talk to me. Should this inner fiend seek battle again, I'll give it one. Let it taste the edge of the blade. Hate you? The coast would sooner be swallowed whole by the sea of swords. You don't have to shoulder this burden alone. And next time you're in a killing mood, let me know. I'll point you in the right direction. I see the hunger in your eyes, and I see how it worries you. It worries me too. But you are stronger than the hunger. You can resist. You will resist. I'm sure of it. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you standing there. Lost in the steps, truth be told. I need them to be just right. I wouldn't want to fail my new partner. I know a few people who might beg to differ, but the only one that matters is here with me now. May I have this dance? How utterly charming. No need to be modest. You were a delight to behold. Now, perhaps we might try a more intimate style. So much shadow around us. To think I almost missed the light. Well, it's getting late. We can't face the morrow if we don't bid farewell to the now. I've drunk wines from Daggerford to Cormyr, but I've never known a taste as rich as yours. Gods damn it! You almost make me forget myself. But I still keep faith in the old tales of love. The once upon a times and the happily ever afters. I'd like to do this the proper way. The way of the old romances sung by the bards. Till next time, good night, and dream sweetly.
By Baldur's helm, I wish we could have danced forever. Since we don't have forever, I wager the memory will have to do. Indeed, I shiver just thinking about it. That day can't come soon enough. Ah, how to answer a question with so many layers as that? You are the red of the sunrise, the yellow of high noon, and the orange of sundown. If you were a song, I'd never stop singing. If you were a psalm, I'd never stop praying. You make a damn fun dance partner, too. As if you needed to ask. Because there's nothing to tell. She died when I was born. As a boy, my bond with father was too deep to miss the mother I never had. Now, well, I'd be lying if I said I'd never thought about my mother. What life would have been like if she'd lived. Maybe I'd be living in the city. Maybe I'd never have been forced into this cursed pact. But there's no use lingering on maybes. My mind is on the stories of today and tomorrow, not those of yesterday.
We did as we was told, General. Followed every order.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
Us? No, it was Minthara. She got the orders. She...
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
You failed to retrieve the artifact. You failed to protect your true soul. You do not deserve to live.
As the General's attention shifts to you, a memory stirs. A memory of this room, and his voice raised in anger.
I'm surprised to see you again, true soul. You are here to assist and not to meddle, I trust. I would remind you that while in my halls, you obey me, just as you would any other chosen. I'm sure you will enjoy watching my justice enacted. You have to take what pleasure you can, after all, in your diminished state.
His smirk says everything and nothing at once. I know exactly who you are, and I will never tell.
Better than you know yourself, it seems. But we are here to deal with these goblins, not to speak of your past. Kill them. Quickly.
What? No!
You creaking old bag of shit! I'm so sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
Try again.
No.
Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, let us take advantage of our surprising guest and their particular creative genius. I'm sure the results will send a clear message to the troops on the importance of discipline.
Of course, my lord. Thank you. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake! Oh, praise the Absolute! And praise her true soul!
In another lifetime, you were greeted in this throne room like a god, not the living wreck you are now. Your disgrace has something to do with this Ketheric. You yearn to flay him until he forgets himself, as you have. Nothing sickens you more than a man who is unkillable. But to a veteran deviant such as yourself, it is but a matter of time.
In my years as the Blade, I've witnessed countless cruelties, faced unimaginable evil. But Thorm, he is made of pure hate. The Sword Coast will rejoice when the bastard's fallen. And lest we forget, we've a devil to rescue. 2 missions, 1 destination. Not in a mere prison cell, certainly. My guess, Thorm will have confined him in the bowels of the tower. The deeper we dig, the closer we get.
Harvesting all the larvae.
Mazora, you're Zariel's asset.
My dumb little stinker. Took you long enough. Now, by Grazit's cock, get me out of this thing!
I'll do it, and you'll set me free. That was the deal.
Yeah.
So, get to it already.
The controls are open to your tadpole's command, to your authority.
You did all right, Wyll. I'd give your belly a good rub, but never could stand the smell.
You're free, Mizora. I held up my end. Now you hold up yours. Sever the pact.
Clause Z, Section 13. If the Soulbinder consents to separation, she will release the Soulbearer from all obligation within 6 months.
6 months? Gods damn you!
Ignorant thing. It's always the terms and conditions that get you. Not going to happen, but I do like your spunk. Now, you've got business in the towers to take care of.
Don't you fret. I'll find you soon enough. You're going to need me. Count on it. Oh, and go ahead. Tell your chums how we met. It's a real cracker of a tale. Ta-ta.
Zariel's asset was none other than Mizora herself. Of course. Tricks on top of tricks on top of tricks. But I've only got 6 months before I'm made a free man. Thanks be to the Triad. No, scratch that. Thanks be to you. First, we killed Ketheric Thorm. Then, I'll tell you everything you want to know.
You said it was under control.
It isn't you I answer to, Gortash.
Motherfucker! Gortash!
Oh, the general voice. Is this where we salute?
Salute, yes. With cleavers through his blood-starved flesh. How it crawls with failure, like flies on lick-wet carrion.
The Edict of Bane.
The lash of Thorn!
The Testament of Merkel!
An elder brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of our guest. Behold, Duke Ravengard. The Absolute.
Heaven preserve us.
You wag your word flap in vain, Alderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Shit, no! Father!
Now, it's really time we were going. We will empty this place and begin the march. You may catch up with the army once you've retrieved the weapon. And Ketheric, do try not to sulk. You're supposed to be the fearsome general come to conquer the city. And I am the hero who will save it.
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure, we're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun. Yes, but first a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it? It is. And I did. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the cult of the dragon made its move.
The cult of the dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
To conjure the Dragon Queen and lay waste to Baldur's Gate. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Wyll wants to show you what happened. In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. As the maelstrom howls, Missoura's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city. She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel.
She never stops, does she? Not for a second.
Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Missoura's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie. He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Missoura had swept it clean. After, he said only 1 word. Go. So I did. I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed. It is the one scar I ever bore of it. You were right, of course. The new eye is a sending stone, courtesy of Missoura. She uses it to track my location and call from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world, or the depths of the lower dark, and still never shake her. Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist, and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them. No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst, and Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither. More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Wyll Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to.
scream in nature's womb. Your eyes, Stira. There is pain, endless and deep, but also devotion, blazing like the sun. You're in love, are you not? You are wise to admit it. When it comes to love, vulnerability is armor, truth a sword, and trust a shield. Bring the one you love to me.
I'm more than game. Let's do it.
Close your eyes, little ones. Be still as stone to earth. And remember to breathe. I see you. I see the bond between you. So tender, so fragile. But do you see it for yourselves? Wyll, the courageous heart tormented by the inferno. Listen. Think. What on his darkest day would make him smile?
Indeed, you are a source of light among shadows. Still are, for that matter.
Hear how your bond thrums with pleasure. Strong, vital, pulsing with affection. We cannot live this life without others. Others to guide us, to aspire to. Who does the blade most admire?
Indeed. We've not always seen eye to eye, but his every thought, every act was in service to his people. Among men, there is none greater.
The sweetest loves dance lightly on the tongue. But now we must dig deeper, into the most painful reaches of the spirit. Life is a difficult and tumultuous thing. With every smile, a tear often follows. What is Wyll's greatest regret?
He gave me no choice. But it's true. I often wonder, what if I'd said the right words? Made the right promises? Maybe I'd have been with him on the journey from Elturel. Maybe there'd be no absolute. No infections. No... this. You know me. You understand me. And for that, I'm forever grateful.
How close you are. Two hearts beating a perfect rhythm. But I know the truth. Only one face haunts your dreams each night. Close your eyes, sweetness, and she will come to you.
Look at it. Come crawling home, hands stained with the Bone Lord's soot. And you carry his stone. You waste time soft-soothing these flesh bags for the knife. I could end it now. But I'll be patient. Father will see us together again. He will see you bleed.
Baldur's Gate is where I first raised a glass in toast at the tender age of 14 and got so tipsy from wine, I puked in Dillard Portier's bushes. It's where the flaming fist chased me after I'd stolen a peach from a cart in the Wide. I got a good chewing out over it too. It's where my father taught me to hold a rapier, to read books of law, to know right from wrong. It's been 7 years since I left. It's no paradise, but it's home, and it's worth saving.
My. I can tell you are a special one from a single glance. You have but to ask, and we can grant you a moment of pleasure. Don't be shy. Silly. We are the gift. One free ride with me or my brother.
Or perhaps you have greater ambitions yet. Trust me, you don't want to miss my signature Mesobaranzan love trick.
And is that your partner with you? What a gorgeous couple. Perhaps we could come to an agreement. We want both of you, silly, at the same time.
No. I want romance, not debauchery. It's all right. I promise. But I hope when the sun sets and the stars rise, your dreams always lead to me.
Naughty, naughty, naughty little master. You have disobeyed your father's wishes one time too many. For she who fights with monsters should look to it that she herself becomes a monster. When you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. Another will embrace what you have rejected. And that other will be your death. But your father loves you dearly. You may re-inherit yourself yet. Slaughter your line. Become the last of your name. Lord Baal shall have but one chosen.
Memories flood back, snatches of your story written in the blood of 1,000 victims. Years spent in worship of Baal, leading his savage congregation in prayer, sacrifice, and slaughter. You were their master, and he was yours. A cruel master, a dread lord, a devoted father. All is as you feared. You are a spawn of Baal, his heir, his scion. And yet, you know you will never be free of your urge if you don't confront your past. You are not the last of your name. Not yet. There is another. The abomination wrapped in flesh you saw in the colony. Orin. It's time for a family reunion. But be wary of your confessors. Will friend turn to foe, knowing what you are?
I'm here for you, always. Hells. It explains so much. Listen to me. I knew another like you. Gorion's ward. One of Baldur's Gate's great heroes. Baal's blood ran through their veins too. They burned away their own darkness with their own inner light. They chose courage. They chose honor. And so can you.
Kinspeople, Baldurians, friends, thank you for joining me on this exceptional day.
It's him. Gortash. This is it. I can practically taste his blood from here.
My father's here, Karlach. Cool your fires. He must not come to harm.
Please, come forward. Ah, what a surprise this is. My favorite assassin, back from her bloody disgrace, joined with my old bodyguard.
Hang on, what? You know each other?
Oh, I'd forgotten. Your memories are quite lost, aren't they? Orin told me she'd made a fool of you. To think you and Karlach traveled together all this time and she hadn't the faintest you were one of my nearest and dearest. Let me clear up some mysteries then. It's about time, I think. You and I initiated this plot. We discussed in depth the failures of our predecessors and how to avoid them. We understood that if we were to unite, no one could stand in the way of the Dead Three. So, unite we did. First, we obtained the crown. Then we enslaved the brain. From there, it was but a small step to the most successful religious hoax ever perpetrated. In Baal's name, you set your bloody daggers to cause panic in the streets, killing in the Absolute's name. You would have carried out that part of the plan had Orin not ruined your hard work. Next, the threat of the Absolute's monstrous armies formed by Merkel's general, Ketheric Thorn. In such circumstances, people crave strong leaders. Leaders that bring law, order, and protection. So I turn to you, the former ruler of the cult of Baal. Let's make our pact anew. A divine oath, sworn upon spirit and flesh. I do no harm to you, nor you to me. Furthermore, you'll have nothing to fear from my steel watch while our pact stands.
Truest of souls, bathed in her light.
There is a fleeting connection. Your parasite communes with his, then falls quiet.
Father, my dearest boy, the hells have touched you, but you've come to me just as Gortash said you would. A true soul, no less. Father and son, unstoppable generals. You and your allies will usher in a new dawn. Help me. Ah, the Black Widow caught you in her web. Floric chose shadow over light. Her betrayal burned deeper than the fires of Avernus. She's been punished for her lies. The sun rises, true soul. Are you ready? Why do you say this? Only the shadows would name the sun a tyrant. Faerun suffers in darkness. Tyr has abandoned us. Helm's Eye has strayed. But Baldur's Gate will soon burn bright, a beacon to light the heavens. And it will be Gortash who ignites the final spark.
No. This isn't him. This is the tadpole talking.
For a brief moment, uncertainty clouds his mind, then dissipates. The astral prism vibrates in concord.
What nonsense is this?
The prism quivers once more. Ravengard falters.
As I said, Baldur's Gate will ascend. Torill's first and only grand city.
Incredible. To hear my father's voice speak those words. Like a stranger wrapped in his flesh. But there's still a glimmer of him in there, calling for release. I feel it. I know it. I won't let the Absolute keep him. This is my pledge.
If it isn't little Wyll, straight to your handler, and I didn't even have to whistle.
Mizora, I've had enough. You owe your life to me. Time to end the pact.
Poor thing. You've had a tough go. And you don't know the half of it. You see, Gortash has had your father relocated. I'm just an impartial observer. This is Gortash's game. A murderous one, the way I hear it.
Shit.
Your dad's good as dead, pup. And to think, there's no way to save him. Or is there?
You know something.
I know enough. I'll be in your camp if you want to work something out.
Sorore surge, testis esto pacti me. Come, sisters, be my testament. Notum sit in beator.
Notum sit in beator.
You've heard of such devils. Sisters of justice. Adjudicators of diabolical contracts and bargains.
Enough, Mizora. Where is my father? How do I save him?
How else? We bargain. Sisters.
Infernos contractos te vocamus. Infernos contractos te vocamus. Infernos contractos te vocamus.
Your contract, Wyll. Signed in blood, forged in fire, bound in bone, but not unbreakable. No contract is ended without sacrifice. A cost must be paid. Wyll Ravengard, a choice is before you. Option 1. I show you the way to your father. I guarantee him no harm except that from you and your allies. And you pledge your soul to me and the Archdevil Zariel in a pact eternal. Option 2. I break your pact and you are freed from your duty. Your father dies by his enemy's hand, and Baldur's Gate loses its greatest champion. Name your sacrifice.
Bloody Zariel! I won't let her take Wyll.
Silence, Karlach.
Mizora, you asshole!
Choose.
You damned wretch! Father. Do it. Break the pact.
Fiat ita.
Fiat ita. Anima ad beator.
Didn't think you had it in you. Seems my boy's all grown up. And don't go fussing about your father. You made your choice. You knew the terms. You know what? I think I'll stick around. Not for the greater good, you understand. Just for the entertainment.
Gods. I spent 7 years choked by Mizora's leash. And I spent 7 years hoping to break free. I never knew freedom could taste so bittersweet. I have to believe that. I'm not the Hell's puppet in life, nor its warrior in death. The blade will be guiding his own hand. But freedom will be paid in my father's blood. Tomorrow, I celebrate my gain. Today, I mourn my loss.
A moment passes. In the stillness, you find a mote of tranquility.
The Ravengard name now lives solely with me. I will make it count for something. I signed his life away before the Hell's Witnesses. It would be easier to drink the Styx down to the last drop than to alter his fate. I'd be a fool to wish otherwise.
Voice, familiar to you from the Underdark, wraps itself around your brain.
You must act with haste. Duke Ravengard is held within these walls. He must be extracted. Duke Ravengard is held in the security wing. Be careful. There are many hazards. This structure is collapsing. Act with speed. Act with efficiency. Good luck.
Wyll, my pet, I was hoping you'd bound along. A bargain's a bargain, and I've come to see it through. Mia Furia. Kneel for me.
What are you doing?
Exactly what you asked for. Now, stand back and enjoy the show.
Duke Ravengard approaches you, looking confused.
He's tackled, but under my protection now, just like you. His mind is his own again.
I'm free. In my own mind again, wholly. I will not take it for granted. You have my gratitude, friend. You acted quickly, decisively. No soul who fell here did so in vain. I will honor their sacrifice. First you cleave my heart in twain, now you shatter it to pieces. My son a monster, twisted beyond recognition. To think my blood flows through those veins. Is this my fate? To be freed from Gortash's hell, only to be trapped in yours?
It isn't what you think. It never was.
You turned your back on me, on your city, to chase the she-devil and her power. She stinks up the place even now. It is exactly what I think.
Ravengard's tadpole clenches as your memories and wills flow into him.
My tears wounds. I'm in your mind.
The Grand Duke sees Mizora and her infernal sisters. He sees the agony in Will's face as an impossible choice is set before him.
No. My son.
The past becomes present, and Will's thoughts are laid bare. Ravengard sees Wyll partnering with Mizora to defeat Tiamat's cultists before they could lay siege to Baldur's Gate, and he sees everything beyond. The Nautiloid journey, the perilous path to Moonrise, the astral prison, and the Emperor within.
Wyll.
Everything I did for Baldur's Gate. I did for you.
My son. You sold your soul to save Baldur's Gate, and I cast you out for it. You gave yourself to the Hell's eternal fires so I might walk free. By the gods. Can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. You wanted to protect the city. I only ever wanted the same.
You are a better man than most, and a better son than I deserve. I'll yet make amends, but my duty is first and foremost to the city and its people. There's something I must ask of you. Before I was captured, I was on a mission. Returning from Elturel, I discovered the plans of the Absolutists. I immediately realized the city couldn't defend itself against such an army. I didn't despair, because the city has a secret guardian, a worm that sleeps beneath, He can be called upon in times of great need. This is such a time. You've been trained in the ways of the great champions and proven to be one of them. The worm will answer your call. You must seek him out.
Courage, insight, strategy, justice. I remember them well. You made me recite them every morning.
So you do. And I thought you'd abandoned them. More fool me. The worm goes by many names. Ansur, the waiting storm, the heart of the gate. He promised Baldur he'd protect the city if ever its existence was threatened. But just the once. Since then, the city has faced countless threats, but we always overcame. There was never a need to call on the worm. Until now. The Absolute is the greatest threat Baldur's Gate ever faced. The worm must be awakened, and the task falls to you. Take this. The legend of Ansur. An ancient epic. Ill-remembered. Dismissed as a mere tale. Let it set the path before you.
It's funny. As the Blade, I've faced untold brutes and beasts. Together, we've seen illithid horrors most souls could merely fathom. I lived at the mercy of fiends, a devil's plaything trying to right the coast's wrong. But I've only now come to see who my true enemy's been. So you'd think, but the right answer is much simpler than that. Time. Time is so goddamned greedy. It can never give, only take. It builds mountains and deserts only to tear them asunder. It fells armies. It conquers kings, queens, even gods. We blink and we're gone. And our hopes, our memories, our heart bonds are gone with us. Lucky for us, I found a way to stop time. If just for a moment. Come, let me show you. The Wilden Oak. Legend has it stood since the Age of Dawn. I used to come here and climb it when my father's eye was turned elsewhere. Daydream of the stories it might tell if I listened close enough. The Dragon Lords sparking the skies above it. The Moon Elves first plucking the strings of the weave. Standing here, I feel like I can see into forever. I was hoping you'd think so. I've been thinking a lot about forever. More so, I've been thinking about everything that comes before, and who I want at my side as it passes. My mother always said the Wilden Oak's acorns held just a touch of wishing magic. If that be so, then may my greatest wish come true tonight. I love you. Will you be mine today and tomorrow and reaching into eternity? Gods, you've made me the happiest soul in all the realms.
Your skin flushes and your soul sings as you palm the acorn. Wishing magic, affection, love. Whatever the cause, it's as real as the ground beneath you.
Get down here already. It's time we started our happily ever after.
The earth does tremble. The servants of shadow and blood assemble. Beyond lies the grand worm, deep in slumber, awaiting a true hero's advent. Should my domain drown in torment.
Hells. The Great Worm is nothing but bone and memories.
The dragon's spirit floods your mind and memory in a great torrent of power. He is with you. He is within you. He is you. The next words that spill from your mouth are not yours, but the worm's.
I am Ansur, heart of the gate, butchered in flesh, risen in spirit.
Ansur wends his way through your mind like an unstoppable river. Your body is unmoving, yet thought flows effortlessly between you. The spirit pauses, and you feel the astral prism stir. Ansur senses the Emperor's presence within it.
Answer me, Facey. Why have you come?
A deep sigh resonates within you. The torrent stills, only disturbed by the dragon's next words.
Brack, my words aren't meant for you. They're meant for him.
The Emperor stirs in the astral prison, and in you, calm, curious, and detached.
Baldur, your presence has stirred me, as it ever did. I am awakened.
Answer. It's been too long.
Baldur! No! I don't believe it.
We knew each other once, long ago. We crossed the Kalin together and sailed the Altair. We built a city by the sea. Ansur was my friend.
Friend. Yes. And more. Until you killed me. Have you come to dance on my bones, Baldur? Was slaying me not satisfaction enough?
Satisfaction? No. You left me no choice.
You had every choice. You were becoming illithid. I offered you merciful death. You chose to fight. And now you bring your thrall before me. How far has the great Baldur fallen?
Stillness. Ansur's consciousness hovers just above yours, searching, seeing.
Dear Ansur.
Enough! I gave you everything, Baldur, and you repaid me in slaughter. It is time I return the favor. I am the heart of the gate. I am the one who roared. Let my bones rise and the storms gather. Witness Baldur. The final tempest has come. This time, you will not escape it.
I failed. The heart of the gate is dead. We need to see my father. He should know what happened with Ansur. I failed, father. The worm is fallen.
A terrible fate for Ansur, my son. Yet my hopes for the city's future have never been higher.
I don't understand.
You and your allies slayed the undead terror that was once the great Ansur. You are stronger than even the Great Worm. You will be the one to part the storms and lead the people through. You, not Answer, are the savior we need. First, you will fell the Absolute. Then we will rebuild Baldur's Gate. We will take back our city together. I will name you Baldur's Gate's newest Grand Duke of the Council. You will be hailed Heart of the Gate.
Grand Duke. I look the part of a fiend.
I will tell the citizens and the patriarchs of your good works. They will know you carry your father's banner.
Uncertainty fills the air. Wyll has reached a fork in his path. In which direction will he travel?
Wyll? I fought to right the wrongs of the coast. To slay the men and monsters that hunt the helpless. It is in the wilds that I find my courage, not in the halls of upper city estates. There will be no Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard, and there will be no Blade of Frontiers. I am now the Blade of Avernus. For as long as demons and devils imperil the Sword Coast, they will be my prey.
Then go with my blessing. Be Faerun's great defender. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. Let these be the lights that guide you, my son. Hail the Blade of Avernus!
The Blade of Avernus!
A calm settles over you. The Elder Brain is a menace, but with the Blade of Avernus at your side, you know you can triumph.
Enough reflection for today. I'm of a mind to celebrate. A hearty meal would do the trick. A few hunks of fresh venison, a round of brown ale. What do you say? Wonderful. You hunt the deer, I'll scrounge up the ale. Prepare your belly for a roast a la Blade. I love the coast. I love its people. The Blade of Avernus will toil for them, but he'd rather not toil alone. Faerun doesn't need just one hero. It needs two. Say you'll fight with me. Then let it be so. Could any man have wanted a partner more ravishing? You make me so proud. And when the Elder Brain falls, the people of the Sword Coast will see what I see. A shining star, beckoning them to a brilliant future.
Look, your savior approaches. You still don't remember, do you, Bloodkin?
How you screamed as my knife slit your skull. Your brain juices, sticky and sweet. A little hole, big enough for the worm. Your body, a blood sack to feed it. The favorite of Baal turned meat puppet, strung up by the sinews and plucked by my hands.
Straggling memory rises. Day your tyranny should have engulfed this world. It was you who were the first to be enslaved. Orin's smile was the last thing you saw. Her bright blade glinting as she chiseled into your skull. Her reckless digging left your mind shattered. She robbed you of your bloody birthright, reduced you to nothing. Nothing but pure hate. And now it burns, yearning for vengeance.
You should have trained harder, Master. Master, you are the chosen one. He is near. He comes for you.
Expected the other, but you live, and her blood is returned to me. You are my chosen. You refuse me. You are my spawn. Your veins course with my unholy blood. Your life is mine. Accept your inheritance, or I will reclaim it. You were made to conquer, to devour. You reject my blood, and so I will reclaim it. I will make another who is worthy.
For the first time in over a century, silence falls over the Baal temple. No chants, no screams, no prayers. In the end, your own death brought you more joy than any you wrought on this land. You are slipping into peaceful oblivion. But your journey is not over.
Thou hast defied Baal, thy liege and father, and in doing so hast earned a place among champions and heroes. But alas, thy courage was in opposition to the divine cosmology that bound thee to the Lord of Murder. Thou art now faithless, godless, and doomed to wander the fugue plane for eternity. I will not permit that, though all the powers of life and death dictate that it should be so. I too still hold some power, and I invest a portion of it in thee, who hath challenged the gods and now liveth to tell of it. Thy fight is not over, and it is thy fight. For one who can look upon Baal and oppose him can survive any crisis. So rise, challenger of gods, and prepare for battle once more. Death will not claim thee whilst I endure. A scribe, a seneschal, a keeper of records, and now thine advocate, both here and in the city of the dead. I can only give what thou hast earned. Baal tried to extinguish thee, but his wrath is imprecise. He only succeeded in killing the part of thee he knew. The urge that drove thee to terrible acts, the spark of brutality that made thee his. But there is a new part of you that hath grown during thy travels. That part Baal could not extinguish, and so, instead of destroying thee, he hath made thee anew.
Was there ever any doubt? You are a champion. You overcome.
The heart of a savior hath overshadowed the mind of a murderer. Thou hast vanquished thine urge. If thou couldst recall in full every barbarity thou hast committed, every tragedy thou hast authored, wouldst thou truly want to? All their names are written. One day, if thou truly wishest, I will show thee, and we shall remember them together. Today thou art born anew.
You fought and you prevailed. Your future will be what you make of it.
Greet the bloodless dawn, child of none. Do not thank me. Trust in thy courage and the conviction of thy companions. As it was, so it is again. A hero has risen from a legacy of death.
You have conquered your urge. You have taken back your own soul. I'm so proud of you. If I had a bottle of dragon dew, I'd open it in your honor. Death and devastation. Blood and battle. So, our path is set. And we've no choice but to follow. If the fires must spread and the walls must tumble, at least we have each other to cling to. It's afraid. It knows we will fight it, and it knows we can win. My powers, they're draining. Just like Mizora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things. The city will cheer us, but it is the triumph itself, the very smiting of evil, that should lift our hearts. Excellent. Let's see if the elf song's still standing. Their Golden Sands brew goes down real easy.
You slept like a babe straight through the night. Dreamless, thoughtless, and almost entirely free. For the first time, you feel alone, calm. You breathe. Baal may have been your beginning, but he will not be your end. Of all those you killed in your father's name, one lingers in your mind even now. Quill, the dreaming bard. Her death weighs upon you still. A burden you will carry for the rest of your days. But fortunately, you will not have to carry it alone.
My shining star. Since I've known you, we've shed more blood than could ever fill the Cheon Da. The wounds we sustained were the testament to our might. But last night, I swear to you, your touch healed every one of my bruises and wiped away every scar. Through you, I've been born anew.
A moment passes. Wyll's eyes glance up to his horns.
There's something I need to ask you. Something terrible. Something greedy. Something unreasonable. I'm the Blade of Avernus. I swore to cleanse the hells of the devils that threaten the coast. And I know my first target. Mizora. I won't let her claim one more soul. Slay one more victim. I'm going to make my way to the hells and tear the horns right off her damned head. I want you to join me.
A reasonable person would say no. I still want you to say yes. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. The 4 pillars of power. Not an eldritch blast to be found. Father trained me in the sword and the bow. They'll have to sustain me. I knew you'd say yes. All these years as the Blade, I've been called a champion, a hero, a legend. Names I never asked for, praise I never sought. But you've earned the right to be called a hero 1,000 times over. What a gift you've been to the Sword Coast, and what a gift you've been to me. What an honor to walk alongside a true legend. Come, the next page in our saga begins.
When the invitation came, you were hip-deep in Lemur's slime, swarmed by hell wasps, and about to drive the killing blow on a magma claw. Cutting through the dreadful buzz of the wasps and the screams of the damned, a familiar, comforting voice echoed in your mind. Withers, he requested your attendance in Faerun, to gather with your friends and allies. Those who stood against the Absolute at your side. The overbearing heat, the ever-looming threat of Zariel's forces. You've been seeking any chance for respite. This was just the stroke of luck you needed. Life is looking up.
My love! Oh, God. I smell like a 70-year-old cinder. Withers yanked me from Avernus with my blade halfway through a Cambion's belly without so much as a chance at washing up. And from the smell of it, you're in the same condition. By the 9 hells, think of the stories we could tell. The demons we've disintegrated, the devilkin we've bled. You must have a favorite, yeah? A fight you still savor. Thank the Abyss they're as stupid as they are greedy. Throwing those coins was a stroke of sheer genius. The hells fear your name, and the Sword Coast hails it. My lover, my legend. But we should get back to the celebration. Unless there's something on your mind. I won't lie. Losing the Eldritch Blasts and the Hexes took some getting used to. Nothing but void, where once there was hellfire. But you stoked new fires in me. The Blade of Avernus is now the ranger he was destined to be. He's doing well. The rebuilding of Baldur's Gate continues apace. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. The woman's an expert on devils and their infernal tricks. And she's got some thoughts about my old sending stone of an eye. If my patron could use it to track me, we might be able to track her. Or so the theory goes. We meet in a 10-day. If the Diabolist's right, the eye could lead me right to Mazora. It's past time her old pet gets to sink in his fangs. Go on, my treasure. The night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, Did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
To you.